Hello, it's Jess here and welcome to another day of Planmas. And today I am setting up a journal, a reading journal different from my other journal for the magical Readathon, which is a yearly readathon hosted by G of Book Roast. I will link everything down below. I'll link like the beginner's video, because it was a bit hard to figure out what I'm supposed to do, but the beginner's video helps. So basically it's like a D&D role-playing readathon that you create a character who's going to, in this fantasy world, who is going to attend a magical school called the Aurelium Academy. And in 2 months of the year, I think it's April and I think it was August this year, or was it September? 2 months of the year are the school semesters, and those are the months that you do the readathon in. And your character that you're going to create, as we're going to create here together in my setup here, we are going to choose a calling. So she's going to have a specific thing she wants to be, you want to be a mage or whatever. And the readathon is made up of prompts of the classes that you have to complete to to finish off the year at the school and pass your school levels. And there's 3 levels you can be of your character. So each year that you do this with the one character, they become a novice and they work up to basically finishing school in 3 years. I hope that makes sense. The video is down below, but we are going to set it up together. I'm using pretty much everything from the Notebook Therapy Lucky Bag for this year. I just thought the traveler size notebook looked perfect for my little character that I'm going to make. And depending, maybe I'm going to set up for the long run to do this magical readathon. And so if we do more characters, I'll add them to this book. But yeah, I had a lot of fun using all the stamps and washies and stickers from this lucky bag, as well as the Lunar Delivery stamp collection as well. And I printed off all the stuff. There's a whole Google Drive with all of the history of the fantasy world and of the school and the continents, so you can choose where your character comes from and their race and all these information that we're going to go through in this video. So I'm just showing you all the bits and pieces that I'm going to use, and some tombos, which I don't use too many, but I will say I'm not 100% in love with this setup. I haven't done a setup like this before, using these kind of items, so I apologize. I don't love it, but it came out okay. It's enough for what we want to do. But this journal is so pretty, and I didn't think I was going to use it for anything else. But I did already print off all of these printables from Book Roast that she has of her free files, and I printed them all off A5 for an A5 notebook, but now I've switched to Travelers, so you'll see how I work it out. I'm just going to do a page across the double page. But I also actually, during the setup, I ended up writing a whole backstory for my character that I made up, so I'm going to read it out, most of it out to you, because I'm going to write it down and you'll see it at the end, but I'll read out my character and everything about her as I went through and picked things. It's not 100%, the point of this readathon is just to have fun, and you get to do a little bit of you get to create a character and read some books and have some fun. So I will tell you the basics, but basically with this set from the lucky bag with all of the unicorns and cute things, I actually built my story around there, as well as what's in the actual readathon information. We have a whole history page about Elgato, which is the magical world which you live in, and a comment called the Amalur came down and basically created magic in this world. It's a whole thing. And basically, as you go through the beginner's video, you choose and build your character. So let's start with my character. She was born, it's a she, her, and she was born in Etheria, which is the greenest continent. Filled with life, it is home to the vast forests and a majority of Eladia's wildlife. It also has a perpetual spring season, which blooms welcoming the natives every sunrise. There are earthlings and elves on this continent, so I decided to choose an elf. And it's also known for its ruins and tombs and its spirits. So I chose an elf, and they are deeply connected to the fabric of the universe. Their powers are actually strongest during the night. So I thought this lucky bag from Notebook Therapy theme worked perfectly. But they're all very highly spiritual in nature and calm demeanor. And they're known for their jewel crafting as well as other things, and they have an affinity to astronomy, divination, and restoration. And then, so we're going to start putting the history pages in here, and I'm just going to do them sort of alternating which side they're going to be on the page. And then there was a whole survey that you do. So you go through the survey to pick what guild your character ends up being in. There's 4 guilds. It's a little bit like Harry Potter in that sense, but also, other houses and things exist in schools. But I did the whole survey, which she has in the Google Drive, and I got the archivist. And she has also a whole Discord, and there's like a special Discord for your guild. So you can just talk with your guild members and talk books and things. So I have the archivists, who are guild of lore keeping. They're the guardians of knowledge, both lost and forgotten. And you have a unique calling, which is like what class you do, and it's God Seer. You also have a unique gift, a legacy, which is a pact with the god. There are unique conduits and also specialities of conjuration, restoration, demonology, and lore. And they can use the temple archive. And so my character's an archivist. And then she is going to choose her conduit, which is like what you use your magic with. And there's a whole lot of selections, just general ones as well as ones for your guild. And I just chose 2 general ones, which I'll get to in a minute. I'm going to do my little story in a second here. And then you choose a legacy. So because she is an archivist, she gets to make a pact with a god. So that's what she does. And then she picks her calling, which will base my reading prompts on. So let me tell you my little story about my little elf. Verbena adhara. And verbena is a flower, and adhara is a celestial word. I think it's a star name, actually. Was born during an alignment of the moons. So on the Scholar's Key, you choose what moon they're born under, and I chose alignment. She grew up in a secluded community of elves, hidden amongst a lush and green forest on Etheria. The elves there cultivated a domesticated herd of unicorns. I was inspired. Nothing mentions unicorns in these notes, but I was inspired by my stickers and washi. So they cultivated a domesticated herd of unicorns, and they watched over an ancient library ruin. So there were ruins on this continent, so that's why I decided. Caring for and maintaining the delicate remains of lost lore no longer readable by anyone living. Verbena loved to visit the ruin at dawn to watch the pink morning light dapple the majestic rubble and halls of the old library ruin. Verbena joined the Archivist Guild due to her affinity to the lore and knowledge and need to protect books that she grew up with in her community. Her elven heritage being lost to time, timid at the sight of weaponry, having lived a blessed and sheltered life, Verbena chose the conduit of a spell book, which again matched her affinity with books and lore. She was also given a wand to better channel her powers and become more acquainted with the tools of war. So eventually she might move up. Verbena did marvel at a beautiful silver pole arm, maybe one day, because one of the special conduits for the archivist is a pole arm, and she saw it in where you get the conduits picked up, and she was like, it is very beautiful. So maybe one day she'll work up to a pole arm. Because Verbena had loved the dawn as a child, exploring the ruin and brushing the unicorns in the morning, she chose Ozra as her pact. And it says here in the documents, Ozra, goddess of dawn and new beginnings. Patrons find their abilities in restoration and inscription are strengthened. Their powers are tripled in the early hours, also when they gain the ability to conjure a temporary familiar. Temples are made of white marble and are only accessible when the morning sun shines upon it. As part of her pact, Verbena was able to summon a familiar, a black cat she named Blackberry. Due to her pact with Ozra, she felt more confident in picking her calling. And then I chose the calling of Storyweaver, which Storyweavers are highly mysterious. Not much is known about the career because of the nature of their work. A Storyweaver has the ability to alter memories and use hypnotic mind control to make others follow their orders. It is believed that Storyweaver works in a matter of security concerning all of Eledia. They may work with mage hunters and illusionists on critical missions, though no official reports can confirm this. And it says, because of the morals involved with such practice, entry to this career is limited and heavily regulated. Those who wish to pursue the line of work will be informed of a month which they must keep free. During this month, a Storyweaver will take the applicant to their headquarters, a location unknown. There they will be tested. The nature of the test is also unknown. They will not remember having completed it or even being collected. To them, it will seem a life continued as normal until the first day after the allocated month. On that day, their life will be theirs again. They will receive a letter informing them that wherever they have been accepted. And it says the key traits are selfless, compassionate, accurate, and stable. And we have our classes for the spring equinox, so the first month of the Readathon, and the second month, the autumn equinox. So we do inscription, art of illusion, Siamese and divination, and law. And so a lot of those are boosted by like being an elf or an archivist as well as with Ozra as our pact. Now I hadn't read it I've read it before, but before I wrote my backstory, I hadn't really read that they didn't remember. But I feel like, I don't know, it feels like odd that they wouldn't remember the test at all. So naturally, Verbena felt called to Storyweaver. All her life, she and her family remained hidden and mysterious. She understood how to disappear and how to write stories for good and for possible great deeds. She is haunted by the test to be accepted into Storyweaver because there's like an unknown time of her life, I guess. But she uses that knowledge of herself to guide her through her studies. So possibly she may not remember, possibly she does remember, but there's something odd about that test for Storyweaver. But that is her calling, so those are the... So in the spring equinox, that means I'll have to read 4 books: Inscription, Art of Illusion, Siamese Divinations, and Law. So each one of those classes will have a book prompt attached to it. So I'll read 4 of those books in April, I think. And then the autumn equinox, she does it a little bit more different. So she has O in Inscription, Q in Siamese Divination, and D in Law. And so O, Q, and D are like, there's 3 levels of those prompts. And so to complete the class, if it's, say, I don't know which order they're in. Like what's the first class? Oh, there's up to 3 prompts then. So say D is like the 3rd prompt. It means I have to read all 3 prompts in the class. So there's possibility of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 books in the autumn equinox that I have to read to like finish those classes. I think that's what it's about. I think it's up to 3. And so because we have 3 letters here, granted, you don't have to do that. Like, you can just read it how you want. G is very much open to like, just have fun. There's no point in stressing about it. You want to have fun on this little readathon. It's just a way to like make it a big whole reading thing for the year and do the prompts for your little character. So that is the setup of the backstory of Verbena. So in her scholar's key, I just have her name, Verbena Adhara, her guild, the Archivist, her calling, Storyweaver. So you have, it's actually 4 years: Novice, Apprentice, Adept, and Master. So you can do 4 years of this readathon with just your one character, and there'll be different prompts every year for your classes. Although I know I've seen some people actually who do multiple callings, or they change the calling because they got tired of it. So you can change it every year. But in 2025, if I do the whole readathon, I can mark off Novice and have it done. Then her background, there's Wildling or Urban, and I chose Wildling, of course, because she was in a secluded community of elves and not in a town. Then a province, I chose, of course, Erytheria, but there's also Daerun, Dark Meadow, and Kerador, depending on what you want your character or race to be, because there's a bunch of other people you could be. I'm just limiting this journal to what I have right now, but if I choose a different character in the future, I will also set them up after these pages, and include like their page, like the elf one here that you're seeing. And then there's heritage. So again, you have, so here we go. You have dwarf, you have earthling, which you choose a type of earthling. So you choose an element, water, fire, air, earth. There's elf, there's human, there's Iltyrian, and there's Skymorn. And I can't remember. I feel like Iltyrian are almost like vampire-ish kind of people. I can't remember. But there's really cool like stuff in here for building a character. I just went basic. I did elf. And then lunar phase of birth. You can do unnoted, eclipse, blood moon, and alignment. And I did alignment. And then the other part of the scholar, you have conduit. So she chose a spell book and a wand, although maybe she'll add a pole arm in the future. Her guild's legacy is Ozra God Pact. And then her scholar's traits, which I haven't filled out yet, but I kind of have a feeling for it. So that's kind of like the beginning of my character here. We're still working on the pages. I'm trying to bring in stamps, stickers, and the washi on each page, and I'm not loving it. It's not my usual type of planning of journaling, so I'm still getting used to it. Maybe it still looks cute. It's also because these pages, I printed them off for A5, and I really didn't want to reprint them because it was so much sticker paper and also ink. So I made do with it. And I think it turned out okay. I just printed everything off on matte removable sticker paper, so it's easy to pull them up and re-shift them. But yeah, so we're going to do a lot of the pages here, and eventually, so where did I start doing my writing? I think it's actually on this page. So on this page, I'm actually going to leave most of the sidebar empty because this is where I started writing my story of my character, Verbena. We'll call her Benny, maybe Benna. Her nickname could be Benna. But yeah, so this is where I started writing in the next few pages. I will continue writing it. You'll see it in the flip through at the end, but I don't write it here with you now. But yeah, I'm just putting in the necessary things to build the character. So what I don't fill in at the end, which I have now, is actually a magical readathon event that happens in December. It's called Lightful, and it just came out as I was planning this. So Lightful is like, it's a special time in the world of Aurelium Academy, the school, where there is like literally magical light or ice or stuff falls from the sky for like 2 weeks in December. So everyone goes into town and enjoys the magical experience, and it's a readathon prompt, which is super duper like chill. You could just do one prompt and be happy with that. You don't have to do like a whole thing like your courses in the semesters of spring and autumn. So it's just a fun little winter event, maybe to catch up on some books you needed to finish for 2024. And I've since put in the things. So basically there's like a shop in town that coordinates with the prompt of the book. So your character will go and visit that shop if they read that book. And there's like a whole little passport where you can put little stamps of how many shops you visited. And then you get 100 guild points if you complete the stamp set. And the guild points, there's this whole guild point thing which I haven't looked into yet, but apparently there's like, you gain guild points as you finish prompts during the readathon through the year, and you can pick up extra ones. There's different lore quests, and there's also little side licenses like a dragon riding license that you can also do some extra prompts on to get for your character. I think it's like read 2 dragon books and doodle a dragon or something like that, and then you have a dragon license for your character. But anyway, so this is one of those like bonus things, and you build up guild points which you can use to buy items for your character in this like book of like a shopping book that she created, which is kind of fun. So you can add all of that, and that's what makes like having a separate journal kind of fun for it, because you can add those items in as you build up gift points, and buy things for them. Like you can buy them a magic broom and things like that. So this is the town for Lightful, and yeah, so if you want to visit a store, you have to read the prompt. So you have Wallace's Wonderful Winter Animals, and the prompt for that is a book with aurora colors on the cover. Then there's the Owlcat Craft Cafe, which is a cozy book. Then you have the Rich Pigeon Pub, which is a book written by 2 or more authors. Smith and Friends and Sons Arcane Goods and Such, a book with winter elements on the cover. The Old Tales Bookstore, a book you want to read by the end of 2024. The Shank and Shaw Legitimate Retailer, which is a book that will give you the chills. And then the Occult Premonition Store, a book set in the future of the alternate world. And it's like a whole little town. She has a whole map of the town which you can go visit. And I just started the story with Verbena arrived just in time to enjoy her first Lightful. So she's arrived to the academy in time for the Lightful and before starting the next year. And then I'll have the books in here. So the Lightful Readathon is like, I don't know, is it just 2 weeks starting December 14th? But I'm like playing this by myself. So I don't think you have to be super strict with the rules, because I just read a book with winter elements on the cover with snow. So I'm going to include that actually in this. And I'm fine with that because it doesn't affect anyone else. It's my little readathon experience. So that means Verbena will go to the Smith and Friends and Sons Arcane Goods and Such. So I'll try and write a little thing about her going there. And then I think the book with aurora colors, I feel like, maybe we can do a book that you want to read by the end of 2024. I'll put Wind and Truth in there because I'm currently reading Wind and Truth, and it's a big book, so it will take a long time. But that means Verbena can visit the Old Tales bookstore and pick up some books because, she loves books. So here I'm putting in the Scholar's Key, it has like, you could put in a picture of your character. And if you want an easy way to do this, there is a website called PicCrew, PICCREW.com, or PicCrew if you just look that up. And it has artists who've made, they're like little doll makers where you can customize a little character picture. And there's tons of artists in different styles on there. Rather than, I know I've seen a lot of people use AI generators for this, and it makes me very sad. But please don't use AI. It is terrible for the environment and terrible for artists like me, who is struggling thanks to AI. But anyway, I digress. I drew my little character. So here's my elf, Verbena. And after I drew her, I felt inspired actually to do a clip art set based on her. So I did do that for my shop. But anyway, I have been working on that. But I thought she came out super pretty. And obviously, I know not everyone can just draw their character. But that's why PicCrew or even commissioning an artist to do it for you is a really good thing that you could do instead. But yeah, I was very happy with how she came out. She's just a cute little elf. But yeah, so I did draw that for this, which I was happy to do a little drawing just for myself, even though I did end up turning it into work in the end. But that's okay. So after the Scholar's Key is when I put in the calling. So I'm going to choose Storyweaver, as you saw. Yeah, so it's pretty fun to actually just go through and build the character. Again, you should start off with G's video down below, the beginner's guide, because she walks you through it step by step of how to do the most basic of setting up your character. And after I set up these pages is when I made up my little story, so I was pretty happy with that. But yeah, I just wanted it to be separate from my current reading journal because the aesthetic is so different from my current reading journal. And I'm also using the second half of my 2024 journal, so I didn't want to have all of these pages taken up by the readathon, but I kind of wanted to have all of it here just so I could look at it and read it and sort of reference it. But yeah, so obviously I will be reading normal books through the year, but when I do the Readathon, I'm just going to include both the books in this journal as well as my normal journal. And I think that'll be okay. And she also, in the past 2 years, has brought out a yearly adventure prompt thing. So each month we'll have a different prompt. Well, I have like 2 prompts, I think. And as you choose different prompts, you go through this adventure and explore something. And it's kind of fun. So you have a prompt of a book for each year. So I'm going to put those stickers down after. So I'm sorry I didn't film that, but I'm waiting for her to bring out the yearly adventure information, so I can also put this in the notebook, and that will be like the main stuff until the spring equinox classes. But yeah, so this is a little flip through. I think it turned out okay. I'm not used to this kind of decorating with the washi tape and the stickers and the stamps all together. I did a little bit of color with the tombos on the pages just to add something, but I think it turned out okay. And I feel like all the stickers really reference my character and their story. And I hope you enjoyed the story of my character, and I've added a little bit extra here and there, that like the unicorns that I just added. But I feel like, you can do whatever you want with this readathon. It's not that. It's just a readathon. But it was just fun to make a little character in the little world. But yeah, I'm still happy with how it came out. It's not perfect, but it's okay. I'm also terrible at writing, so I apologize for that. But yeah, I'm really happy with how my little elf verbena came out. And I'm excited to try out this readathon next year. And, it's going to be fun to like do all her classes and see the different prompts for the year. But yeah, check out that video by G of Book Roast down below and all her other things. She's got some really good reading videos in there. And there's just a little passport and the information for Lightful. But otherwise, I hope you have a wonderful day. Don't forget Planmas continues through the 25th. Don't forget to like and subscribe so you can keep caught up. But otherwise, I hope to see you again. I hope to see you tomorrow. Bye-bye. I love you. Bye-bye.